Now, MAGA farmers are complaining that they don't have workers. Farms' operations are not going the way they expected because there is no workers available. Don't forget, these folks voted deportation. Now, where are they going to get workers? Watch this.
It's been a tough year for Idaho farmers, less water, higher fuel prices, and now fewer workers in the fields. I'm your Mountain Home neighborhood reporter, Sahana Patel, speaking with a local farmer who says crackdowns on immigration enforcement has made it much harder to find help.
It's just been harder and harder and harder to find those people to work.
Bethany Gotts owns Quay's Farm in Mountain Home, a 500-acre family operation she took over after her father passed away. But now, with fewer workers, a lot of the manual labor is left up to her. She tells me she's tried hiring locally, but it's been difficult to find people willing to do the hard work.
Finding a legal American here that is going to work as hard as an immigrant is nearly impossible, and I don't know how to say that kindly or well.
She even posted job openings on Facebook, but says interest dropped quickly.
I had 7 people contact me about it, and when I sent them the description, I had no people respond.
Gott says the increase in immigration enforcement has made it harder to find migrant workers.
The community has definitely been on edge around here, and it's heartbreaking because they are living in fear here.
She says hiring undocumented workers is not an option, with serious risks for both sides.
The repercussions are too bad because, one, you're going to get fined. You have unfortunately, an employee living in fear, and I don't blame them, but they could get picked up at any moment, and then you're without an employee.
To keep her farm running, Gotts is hiring high schoolers and is now looking into the federal H-2A visa program, which allows temporary agricultural workers into the U.S.
This year, I have endeavored to spend $200,000 to build a small worker housing.
So first, immigrants are taking your jobs. Now they're not there to work for you. Pick a fucking struggle because you can't have both.
All of us farmers have officially fucked around, and we have officially found the fuck out now, guys. I am on the verge of bankruptcy. I'm on the verge of tears. Overnight, all of my help fled. My help, out of fear for their safety, their lives, they fled. And now I am left out here standing in my unharvested carrot field. And I'm in Kansas, and this is when carrot harvest goes. In Kansas, this field should be full of workers, but all my workers left. And who the do you think is to blame for that? Every single one of them left. Now I have to by myself try to fill that truck with a load of carrots in one day, and I can't do that, guys. I have to get these carrots to market by next week, where my contract is terminated. This is $936,000 worth of carrots right here, and I can't pick them by myself. If they're unharvested, I will get kicked out of that contract, and I will get sued by the Planters Loves Carrots Company.
Get rid of illegal immigrants, quit eating. And that's for everybody. That's, nationwide. If you want to get rid of them, quit eating. That'll solve the problem.
But when only 5 pickers showed up this morning to harvest his sweet potatoes, farmer Keith Smith saw possible ruin, the loss of his $500,000 crop.
They're running scared because of this new law.
And you're in trouble.
I'm in trouble, bad trouble.
Smith's 200 acres need 20 pickers, mostly Mexican nationals.
There is not enough documented people here to supply that workforce.
Most of your workers are here illegally.
That's sure. If they got documentation, they got a better job than working for me.
Fernando Aldeman, a Mexican national, has worked Smith's farm since 1992.
Everybody's just scared.
Yeah.
Now, are you here legally? No.
No.
So, are you scared?
Yeah, I'm scared. I'm scared,
Smith's pickers make about $100 a day. He supports immigration laws, just not this one that threatens his third-generation family.
You can't just say, hey, I'm going to get rid of these people, and then look at the farmers that are left without workers.
Guys, I was wrong, and I can admit that. When people were saying that mass deportations would greatly affect farmers, I didn't actually think they were serious. They said that Americans were unwilling to do the jobs that immigrants do, and I didn't believe them. But this new video that I just saw proved me wrong. I went ahead and found the job listing. She's offering $2,000 to $3,000 a month for full-time manual labor on a farm.
She says hiring undocumented workers is not an option, with serious risks for both sides.
One, you're going to get fined. You have unfortunately, an employee living in fear. They could get picked up at any moment, and then you're without an employee.
To keep her farm running, Gotts is hiring high schoolers and is now looking into the federal H-2A visa program.
I have endeavored to spend $200,000 to build a small worker housing so that I can get H-2 workers next year.
This woman had $200,000 lying around that she could have used to pay some strapping young Idaho corn-fed boys to do the manual labor on her farm, but instead built temporary housing for visa workers. I never thought I'd live to see the day where liberal media was telling people, are you unwilling to pay Americans a fair and decent living wage for hard manual labor? Just import a bunch of people to do it for way cheaper and then put them in a house and they can't go anywhere else because what other option do they have? Man, I feel like there's a term for that, but it's just slipping my mind.
Hey MAGA, you know all those jobs that you guys were complaining about that immigrants are taking? Yeah, they need you now. Those farmers, they need you. There are so many videos going around now of vegetables and fruits being left behind, molding, rotten, and it's because no one is going to pick it. No one's helping out. You white MAGA supporters were so upset that these hardworking immigrants were doing the jobs that you did not want to do. Well, here's your chance. Here is your time to shine, MAGA men, MAGA women. Come on.
All these damn illegal aliens taking over American jobs, it ain't right because they're all criminals, you know. That's why we need a strong leader that'll put Americans first. That's why I voted for him, because he said he's going to deport all them illegal aliens, okay? Because I'm a proud American farmer. I don't need no illegal immigrants taking over my jobs. Ain't that right, Jose? Jose? Juan? Pedro? Where did y'all go? Hey, where did they go? They left. Why did they leave? They got work to do. Because they were illegal, and you voted for the guy that wants to deport them. Not really the most stable working environment. What? But I need their cheap labor to make my thin profit margins to make sense financially. Well, you should have thought about that, because now you're going to have to hire Americans, and they're going to unionize and ask for higher wages and eat into those profit margins. But are you saying that I have to face the consequences of my own actions? Because we can't afford this. We're all going to be bankrupt in 2 quarters. Funny how life works that way.
Earlier this year, the Trump administration spent months demonizing immigrants and migrant workers, portraying them as criminals and blaming them for the economic problems and job loss in the United States. The political message was clear: immigrants were the problem. But now the agricultural industry is facing the reality of what those policies created. Farms across the country are dealing with labor shortages because the truth is something that politicians rarely admit out loud. The United States agricultural system depends heavily on migrant labor to function. So now the same administration is trying to bring migrant workers back through the H-2A agricultural visa program, which allows farms to recruit temporary foreign labor to harvest crops and maintain food production. But the wages being discussed are raising serious alarms. Reports circulating this week say that under the proposed wage structure, some H-2A workers could see pay calculated as low as about $1 an hour in certain cases and around $7 in others, depending on the state and how the deductions are applied. Part of that calculation allows farms to include housing as part of the compensation package, which reduces the amount of actual cash workers receive. Farm worker housing in the United States has been criticized for decades for overcrowding, poor sanitation, and unsafe living conditions, which makes the idea of counting that housing as part of the worker's wage extremely controversial. Because of these changes, the United Farm Workers Union has filed a lawsuit against the administration, arguing that the policy violates labor protections and will drive wages down, not only for migrant workers, but for agricultural workers across the entire industry. The situation exposes a contradiction that's difficult to ignore. The same workers who were recently portrayed as a threat are now being asked to return because the food system can't operate without them. Yet the policies being proposed still treat their labor as something that can be underpaid and easily exploited. If this issue matters to you, start paying attention to how agricultural labor policies are being written and how they actually benefit. Share this information and stay informed about the lawsuit, and ask whether the people who harvest the food that feeds an entire country are being treated with the dignity and fair compensation that they deserve.
Wait, you mean to tell me Americans don't want to pick lettuce for $2 an hour? No. Now the farmers are crying because they can't find any workers. Ain't that something? After you pushed out all of the immigrant workers, who actually did the job. Now you're standing around wondering why Chet and Kaylee won't come pick your cabbage in 100-degree weather for $4.75 and a Capri Sun? Y'all really thought folks were going to jump at the chance to break their backs for pennies on a dollar. But you know what's even funnier, y'all? Some of these farmers say the American workers they do get, they don't even last the whole damn day. One guy said somebody walked off by lunch, and honestly, I support it. Listen, I wouldn't be out there picking strawberries and fighting bees and being dehydrated just so that farmer could sell those strawberries for $12.99 a box at Whole Foods. Negative. See, they've been telling you this lie for years. They took our jobs. Nah, Americans, you didn't want those jobs. You just didn't want them to have the jobs either. Now look at you, a field full of crops and not a soul to pick them. Next time, think twice before turning labor into a culture war. Because now, it's just you and your own damn tomatoes.
I want to show you a video, but I want to make a statement when you're done watching it, okay? And the statement goes out to every single farmer who did this, and there are so many.
The owners of Barbie's Berries here in Whatcom County used to allow ICE agents to use their fields to look for dangerous criminals among the farm worker population, until they saw a different side of things. Workers prepare for the new season at Barbie's Berries in Ferndale, although owner Randy Kraft worries it isn't just his crops getting all the attention.
We're kind of like an easy picking area, I feel like.
Randy recently had 2 longtime workers get picked up by immigration agents and deported. Hardworking family men he's known for more than a decade.
As far as I can tell, from what comes out of Trump's mouth, they're not supposed to be taking innocent people. Good, hard-working, innocent people that we need. I've been knocked right in my butt, I'll admit it. Yeah, I'm really disappointed.
The narrative that the administration is preaching really is not necessarily translating here on the ground.
Washington State currently ranks dead last in America for farm profitability. Industry advocates warn the threat of additional deportations may make labor difficult to find and this fall's crops difficult to harvest.
If that workforce is scared to even come to work because they or their family might be targeted by ICE, that puts your entire operation in jeopardy.
Randy feels his government has let him down. He hopes the only things being picked up in Whatcom fields from now on are crops.
I'm not sure if you heard it, the part about where he allowed ICE to come into his fields to harass his paid employees, people he was supposed to have vetted before he hired them. So the chances of them being, violent criminals were pretty slim to none. This is a man who heard all of the very same messaging that you and I heard, the same exact rhetoric come out of Donald Trump's mouth about how, they were all criminals, they were all rapists, they were all drug dealers, they were bad hombres. He heard it all, the same shit we heard. And when we said this is going to be an ethnic cleansing, we meant it. But you gambled your farm against your own racism, against your own bigotry. And at this point in the game, I don't give a fuck if I never have a goddamn vegetable or fruit from this country ever again. You all deserve to lose your farms. If you allowed ICE in your fields, you cheered this on, or you voted for it.
If we snapped our fingers and every single illegal immigrant in the United States disappeared, we would literally starve to death. You wonder why I'm so passionate about agriculture and so passionate about immigration as part of agriculture? It's that, guys. You don't know the whole picture. Now, should we have illegal immigrants working in the field? Should we have illegal immigrants working in construction? Should we have illegal immigrants working in hotels and wherever else they might be? No, we shouldn't. But they are, and there's tens of millions of them working in the system. So if we just say, hey, they got to get out of here, well, you have to have a solution before you just send people out the door. Now, I'm not talking about ethics today, and I've talked a lot about ethics. Let's just talk about economics. Let's just talk about the reality of economics. You send 10 million people out the door that are filling 10 million roles in the United States, and 80% of those people are working in agriculture. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think you're going to eat tomorrow if there's all of a sudden not people there to harvest, to pick, to pack, to drive the tractors, to do everything? Pretty quick, you'd find yourself without any food in your mouth, any food in your stomach, and you would be starving to death. That's why I'm so passionate about it, because we can't just be stupid. We have to have a solution. The ethics aside, I'm frustrated by the ethics because I know the people that we're talking about, but I think you still want to eat. So no matter what, we got to look at a solution and not just complain about all of the people who are here illegally, because you'll starve to death without them.
Hello folks, how you doing? Now what you have seen are farmers who are complaining about, like they don't have workers. Man, these folks, as I told you, they voted deportation. These folks, they were celebrating when the orange man told them that he's going to deport millions of people. Now, the question I always ask myself is like, what was the thought in their minds when the guy was saying he's going to deport millions of people? Because those people who are about to be deported, they were illegal immigrants. They were the one that were able to work in those farms. Because these farmers, they were paying pennies. They were paying little. That's why there is no American who is able to do that job. Because, man, they are paying pennies. And these folks, I think they expected Americans to go to work in their farms. And then they have never seen maybe, them coming. Because you've seen the farmer posted, like job availability, but nobody showed up. Because people cannot go, to do that work. You're paying pennies and, conditions are harsh, the weather and everything. People are not ready to do that. Now, when these people are claiming that they are taking American jobs and they celebrated deportation, man, where do they thinking they're going to get workers? Because in a farm, business, you need workers. Let me tell you, there are some jobs that machines cannot do. There are some jobs that you need those workers, that you need those immigrants that you wanted to deport. Now, we can say a lot of things that happened, but Elisa find out, of course, they have to find out no matter what, because what they did is wrong. And it is affecting their business, of course, because you cannot tell me how, like, you ignore your business, you ignore your income, you ignore everything. Then you think about deporting, like, people. You think about deporting, like, those immigrants just, without having a plan. So saying they don't have workers, at least they are find out. There's a lot of things that happen to farmers, and you wonder why these farmers chose this way. I know farmers are the most important people in the country because they feed people. So that's why farming business is so good and it helps people. But seeing all these farmers struggling each and everywhere, it's like these farmers, they should have thought twice. Before they do anything, they should have planned well. They should have thought about what's going to happen, what about the future, what about our farms, so that they be sure exactly what they are choosing. Instead of just doing it like the way they don't care, and later on they find out, they did wrong. Man, this is not really that good. It's not that good. And we've seen a lot of effects on farmers. You've seen how farmers lost the market of the soybeans and, it was crazy. A lot of things happened to these farmers. But what they did is voting against their own interest. So if you vote against your own interest, that's what you face. That's the consequences. And you cannot skip, that stage of finding out. You cannot skip that stage of, consequences, because what you did, it is wrong. Of course, it is wrong to you. And, it has also affected others, because those people we're talking about, they used to come and work and make money. You understand? They came in America just to find life, just to, find something, just achieving American dream. Yes, that's why they came. So if they came achieving American dream and trying to survive and trying to get some money, I know I'm not supporting illegal immigration, because it is not that good. And people are supposed to pass through in the better way that the country allows. But what I can say is that, those immigrants were also playing a role. Yes, they were playing a role in this farms business. Yes, We've seen some reports, and these people are talking about how they are expecting black people to come to work in those farms. They were like, we need black people to come and work in our farms. Man, this is not right. This is not really right. These farmers, maybe it's a wrong idea. Thinking that you're going to get black people to come and work in your farms. Think that you are going to chase away immigrants, that we are able to work in any condition. Listen, farm job is so hard. You work at a difficult condition. Then sometimes it's seasonal. You understand? It's seasonal. So where are you going to get Americans in this harsh economy that will be able to work seasonal in your farm? You should have thought first that. You should have thought that, and then you decide later. Before your decision, you should, thought about that. Why you didn't, had an idea how your farm is going to operate before you do anything. That's what I'm wondering. For real, that's what I'm wondering. You should have done better instead of, doing it like you don't care. And then right now, your farms are affected. Things are not going really the way you expected. Yeah, that's it. That's really it. So seeing all these videos of farmers complaining, saying that they don't have workers, Eliza finding out. Yes, Eliza finding out. And these farmers, it's not the first time. It's not the second time. Yes, they always do that. They always do that. So farmers, man, you should have, thought about it. Expecting black people to come and work in your farms, it was a wrong move. I'm telling you. It was really a wrong move. You should have chosen another way maybe to do it. But, expecting black folks to work, no. They cannot work in those conditions. Because the conditions are hard, man. Are so hard. So some farmers faced harsh reality because of all this. And, because when you F around, you find out. So there's nothing to skip but to face it. You may lose some money because of that. You can even lose a lot of things because of voting against your own interest. So these farmers should have done it better. And they should have thought about it before they do that. Because, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. So farmers are one of the people that are affected by their choices. And remember, it's not the first time. Many farmers, they did it third time, which is why it's crazy. All right, folks, let me know what you think about this. What do you think about these farmers? Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.